Hello, everyone. These 7 urban legends in Utah will keep you up at night. This is the Three Knocks at Midnight podcast. My name is Gabe.
And I am Gato.
You're probably wondering who we are. We're good friends for years, and we just decided we needed to start some sort of podcast related to horror. We've talked about other nerdy stuff on other podcasts, but we decided why not talk about horror? We love it. Gato and I love horror movies. We love horror related. We love haunted houses. We love anything scary. So we figured, why don't we just talk about it?
I think out of every time that we've ever hung out in the past, 11 years? How long have we known each other now? We met in 2014, right? So it's been 10 years?
10 years. Close to 10 years.
Dude, yeah. Very close to 10 years. And I think our connection happened because we both liked film.
Yep.
And cameras and photography and all that kind of good stuff. But in those 10 years, one thing that never fails is going to a haunted house every year together. Even last year, right? We went for my birthday.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, you were there, right?
Yep.
Okay, so every time we hang out, we always talk about a scary movie, a scary show, how good framing is, like on a camera on the screen. You talked about having gone to the Terror Nights at Hollywood. What is it called?
Halloween Horror Nights at Universal
Halloween
Studios.
Horror Nights, yeah, which is amazing. And I love scary movies. I will watch scary movies year round. So I don't wait for Halloween to get scared. I just like to get scared all the time. And it doesn't matter where you stand. If you like scary movies or scary stories, this is going to be a good podcast because we are going to talk about all things scary, like Gabe said in the intro. And we will be talking about maybe some experiences that we've had, experiences that friends have had and family members. Not necessarily just paranormal, but just scary in general, because sometimes your neighbor can be the scary monster. I don't know.
There's so many horrific things that happen in life. I mean, it doesn't even have to be paranormal. It can still be scary, you know?
Yeah. It's a scary world. It's a beautiful, scary world out there. And we just love talking about scary stuff so much that we figured, why not share our conversations with all of you who are interested in scary stuff? So, did you already say what we're talking about today?
Yeah,
or these 7 urban legends in Utah that will keep you awake at night? Yes. Let's see if it'll keep us awake this night.
That's a good way to measure if it will keep us up at night.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to tell that first story?
Number 1, Bear Lake Monster. There's a scary monster living in Bear Lake. The urban legend of the Bear Lake Monster goes back to at least 1868, when Deseret News reporter Joseph C. Rich ran a series about the serpent-like creature. The series quoted many well-known citizens who all claimed they'd seen the monster. However, in 1888, Mr. Rich admitted that he had made all the stories up. The legend continues, however, every so often someone claims to have seen the Bear Lake creature, which bears a resemblance to the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. That seems impossible.
Right.
Scotland?
Yeah, kind of. There's a secret tunnel that goes all the way down.
A secret underwater tunnel.
Have you been to... Oh, we should establish why we're talking about Utah urban legends. It's because we're Utah-based.
Yes. I've heard some stories about legends. We'll talk about like cemeteries and stuff, because there's stories about that, which we'll eventually get to. So stay tuned for that. But there's a lot of legends around here that I'd love to get into.
Now, have you been to Bear Lake before?
I think I have. Yeah. I think that's our tradition. We go there like every year.
You go every year?
We like barely just started. So.
Oh, okay. So that was a tradition in my family when my family and I moved to Utah in 2003.
Did you ever see Loch Ness or the monster?
No, but no, I didn't. I was trying to think if there's any horror stories or legends that I had heard, because we went camping every summer for the 4th of July. And we did that for like 4 years in a row before we stopped.
Mm.
But I don't remember hearing anything. It is a really big lake, so I don't doubt anybody seeing anything. I don't know that it's an actual Loch Ness monster.
You know, I would be surprised there was actually like deceased in the water. I've heard stories. You know, another we can probably talk about is Vegas, like the whole mafia thing that they would bury bodies in like some lake near in Nevada. And
Whoa.
then
I don't know about this.
yeah, we could talk about it another time, but since the water
Okay.
has been receding, they some of these things are showing up. Like there was a barrel that was found.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. Let's talk about it because I remember hearing about that. All right. Moving on to urban legend number 2. Hobbits. Hobbits live in Sugar House. Vicious hobbits live in a community of tiny houses on Allen Park Drive in Sugar House. The hobbits are magical, evil creatures who worship the devil. There is indeed such a community of tiny houses, but it originally housed birds, not people. Dr. and Mrs. George Allen lived on the property in the 1930s and were bird lovers and collectors. Dr. Allen built many housing structures for his birds, some of which looked like tiny houses. When he needed an influx of cash to fund his bird sanctuary, he added some small human homes to the 8-acre property and rented them out. You may still find some of the houses in the property for rent, but you won't have hobbits as neighbors.
I have heard of this.
Of Hobbiton?
Hobbiton, yeah. Like it's one of those things when you're younger, it's like, oh, let's drive there like at midnight.
Yeah. In high school
Yeah.
and college,
Yep, yeah.
this was like a thing. It was like driving by and making sure that you weren't caught by them because they would like chase you or something like that.
This sounds wrong nowadays, though.
It kind of does. I don't actually know much about this. I just remember hearing about it when I was in high school, and we actually never drove by. We never went.
Yeah, me neither.
But I think didn't it come out that it was just a normal neighborhood,
Yeah, something like that. With
just like with tiny homes, but
Yeah.
not like bird homes. They're just tiny.
maybe we can go check it out sometime. Debunk it ourselves.
Yeah. I'd be down to do that.
Number 3. 6-year-old Utah girl loses her hands. Her father punishes her with a hammer, causing both hands to be amputated. The child was playing mechanic in the garage, punning on the family's new car with a hammer. When her furious father caught her, he used the hammer on her, beating her hands until 2 fingers fell off. The attack did so much muscle and tissue nerve damage that she had to undergo amputation. Allegedly, the mother refused to press charges, stating that the father was responsible for discipline in the home, so the child would be returned to her abusive parents. A Utah reporter received an outraged letter about this true case in 1986. A quick call to Primary Children's Hospital determined that there was no such patient there. While horrific child abuse really does occur, luckily this Utah story was simply based on an urban legend that had been circulating across the country.
It's kind of messed up. When did this supposedly happen? 1986? Or is this
Yeah,
when they heard about it?
1986. Or let's see,
So-
true case in 1986. Man, I wasn't even born that time.
Same.
I mean, that is horrific. Not so much the actual act, but the fact that a parent would do that to their child.
It reminds me of Misery. Have you seen that movie?
I only know the torture
The
scene
one scene.
part.
Yeah, just the one
legs.
scene.
Yeah.
You need to watch that movie. It's old. Yeah, it's from 1980 something. The book came out in 1980.
Wasn't it a Stephen King novel?
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's from 1987 actually. Which is funny because I was thinking like, what if this legend was inspired by the book? But now I'm actually thinking if this legend came out and then Stephen King heard about it and wrote a book that included that part.
Plagiarized.
Yeah, you're right. It's really messed up. In the movie it's Eesh. Yeah, it's cringe, but it's not like bad cringe. It's like
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I know what you
just
mean.
makes your body twist a little bit, you know.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Makes you hurt for the guy.
Yeah. Number 4, whale carcass in Farmington. In December of 2014, a farmer found a dead whale in his field. This rumor got started when World News Daily Report, a spoof site similar to The Onion, wrote the story. Someone read it and didn't realize it was posted on a spoof site, so he or she shared it on social media where it went viral. People thought it made perfect sense that whales could live in the Great Salt Lake. Somehow forgetting that the lake is way too shallow to house such large creatures, let alone feed them. Davis County Dispatch received dozens of calls, but the sheriff's department verified that it simply wasn't true.
I think the horrific part is the idea that someone would think a whale.
that it was that it's a true story.
Yeah.
I don't know that this would count like a real urban legend. It seems a little too, I don't know,
It's,
out there.
I mean, the sad part is that is happening on Facebook nowadays, where all these misinformation or whatever, right? Fake stories, and people actually believe it without actually checking sources or, that's probably the real horrific part.
This happened the year we met, 2014.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is
yeah.
very recent.
What? Come on, people. Great Salt Lake.
You know,
oh my
no,
gosh.
right? But you know what's interesting though?
Well,
When we talk about scary stories
yeah.
and urban legends, it's usually things that happened, within the last 100, maybe 200 years.
Right.
Sometimes they like lean back a little bit more, but we don't see any new urban legends like this, something that's been recent. But I'd be interested in like finding out some information on stories that or legends that have like surfaced more recent than not, or maybe hearing urban legends from 1,000 years ago, something that went around in medieval times in the feudal ages or something. I think that'd be super interesting. But anyway, I digress.
Number 5. The Disneyland hearse. The old horse-drawn hearse that sits at the entrance to the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland was used to transport the body of Brigham Young to his funeral. No one is sure how the urban legend got started, but it's alive and well today. It would be a great addition to church history, but sadly it's not true. The Deseret News spoke to Glenn M. Leonard, the director of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' Museum of Church History and Art back in 2001. Mr. Leonard said that records show Brigham Young's body was moved from the Lion House to the tabernacle on a platform carried by men, as instructed in Young's will. After the funeral, the same men carried Young's casket to the cemetery on First Avenue. Other experts have determined that the hearse at Disneyland was manufactured sometime in the 1890s. Brigham Young died in 1877. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
1877 versus... I'm wondering how legends like this start when people don't even take in consideration years and timelines.
There's this weird obsession of Disneyland with a lot of Utah people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like Disneyland. I do. I used to not, and then I suddenly did. But it's when I I traveled to California a few times because my brother and his family lived there.
Yeah.
And so I had the chance to go. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go because the rides are fun. But it wasn't until I started going back to Disneyland as an adult that I started to realize that a lot of Utah people go to Disneyland all the time. It's just such a Utah thing to go to Disneyland on vacation. Right? Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's so expensive though, dude.
Yeah, it is. And so it's interesting to see that these legends come like it literally could just come from somebody who saw it and maybe then they just thought that maybe there's like some church symbolism to it, and it's like, oh, this looks or this sounds like it could be,
Disneyland.
I don't know, related to the church somehow. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that's funny.
it's interesting. Number 6. Let me get this microphone a little bit closer to me. Get a little more private or more
Intimate.
Escalante Petrified Forest. Take home a piece of petrified wood from this state park and you will suffer bad luck due to an ancient curse. The state park receives as many as a dozen letters from previous visitors every year, returning petrified wood and telling stories of accidents, lost jobs, and other misfortunes. It's illegal to remove anything from a state park, including pieces of petrified wood. However, there is no proof that a curse has anything to do with visitors' misfortune.
Ah, man, that's not even debunked. Curses. I don't know.
I believe that someone can believe that it's this specific of a curse.
Yeah.
And I think that if you truly believe it, then you will actually somehow subconsciously make it happen.
I believe
Which
it, yeah.
actually, it makes it a true urban legend.
Isn't that called like manifest destiny?
Yeah, that's why I keep thinking
Or
about...
if you believe it, it'll happen.
Yeah. I keep thinking about $100 bills.
Oh, yeah. It's the opposite. It works opposite, everyone. If you think about a curse, it'll happen to you. But if you think about money, that will happen to you. Is that a Gatoism right there?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man. Isn't this the same place where they have like writings on the wall? Or am I thinking of something else? There's something else in Utah that does that. Like in Moab. Like they have little like huts or something and then drawings. That might be something else actually. Near Escalante.
That sounds right. I know that Southern Utah has a lot more of that kind of stuff. And there's things that you shouldn't like touch even in the state parks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not too familiar with it. Makes me want to go down though.
Number 7. Provo teen cooks herself in tanning bed. Overtanning leads to the death of a teen who cooked her internal organs. The story goes that a 17-year-old girl won a trip to Utah and wanted to get a tan before her trip. The tanning parlor told her that...
Wait, trip to Hawaii.
Did I not say Hawaii? Oh. Won a trip to Hawaii and wanted to get a tan before her trip. The tanning parlor told her she could only tan for 30 minutes per day, so she went to 7 different parlors to get the tan she wanted in just one afternoon. She ended up at Utah Valley Regional Medical Center, blind, and with her internal organs shutting down because she had cooked herself in the tanning beds. A woman wrote a letter to Dear Abby about the Provo teen. Abby quickly disproved it with a call to the Utah Valley Regional Medical Center. A version of this urban legend circulates around the country every so often, but it's just a story. It's never happened.
But do you think any of these are true?
Could that happen? I'm not a tanning bed person.
You can definitely get sunburned. And I think if you do it that often, I think you can definitely get skin cancer. I don't think you can go blind. At least not that quick. I don't know, because
I don't think blindness from the lights, but I think some sort of cancer related thing can make you go blind. I think that might be it.
That's a possibility. I know that there's a movie, Final Destination.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those?
I love those movies.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's the first, second, or third one where one of the girls goes into a tanning bed and it gets locked and the tanning bed starts to like heat up and then she like gets fried. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just like a variation of this. I believe that maybe a girl did go tanning a lot and maybe felt sick or got sunburnt or something, and then the story gets told and it's kind of like a broken phone game.
Oh, yeah. Playing telephone.
I don't think her organs could get cooked from it, but I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't I don't know any of this. This is just an assumption. As somebody who's gone tanning twice in my life, so
Well,
yeah.
spoiler. UV rays emitted from tanning beds only penetrate the top layers of the skin. While they can certainly contribute to exacerbated signs of aging and skin cancer, tanning beds won't fry your internal organs. Rest assured, everybody, you won't actually die.
You can go tanning as much as you want.
I think in the
You'll
movie,
increase your chances.
it like locks her in, and then something it breaks the machine, right? So it goes on like extreme heat,
Yeah, it goes super hot.
and it goes like super Looney Tunes, where she's like shaking inside and smoke coming out, right?
It's Looney Tunes. It's
Yeah.
exactly like that. Yeah, I don't know. These urban legends, TBH, a bit mild. The curse from the Escalante Petrified Forest is the only one that I can kind of maybe understand. Like maybe there is something going on with certain pieces, and maybe people just bring bad luck to their life with it. I can see that being more true than the other ones. But they're interesting. I don't think I'd had heard any of these before.
I mean, the story doesn't even tell us why it would be cursed. Was it like a curse was placed on the area, and so everything you take would curse you, or
Ooh,
Was
I
it
don't
just-
know. Let's
just cursed for the sake of being cursed?
this it's just the woods decided to be haunted.
Right. So you know what? Wherever it takes me, I'm just gonna curse you.
So this is from KSL. Let's see, when was this? 2020? October 31st of 2020. Many visitors learned to regret curse of Escalante Petrified Forest State Park. Escalante, Utah. Halloween will be a bit different in 2020 because of the coronavirus pandemic and health department's recommendations to socially distance and avoid large crowds. In Garfield County, it's the same as it has been for years. We're not talking about trick-or-treating. We're talking about a state park where you shouldn't take anything or else. KSL TV visited Escalante Petrified Forest State Park with a scary warning. Good for any time of the year. There are some places in Utah so beautiful and so special you almost want to take a piece of it home with you. Escalante State Park, like this state park in Garfield County, is one of those places. These articles just have so much filler in them. Petrified wood has been mineralized into rocks for millions of years. It's the main attraction, bringing visitors from all around the world. What's not hard to believe is that some visitors actually do take a piece home. Jamie Skidmore is a manager with Utah State Parks and understands why some people would take a piece of petrified wood. They're beautiful, she says. Some of them are really quite spectacular. It's an issue state park managers wish wouldn't happen, because as people take the petrified wood, that means less rocks for the future visitors to enjoy. Those are pieces that nobody else is going to ever see, because chances are they're hiding in somebody's closet, in a rock box somewhere, says Skidmore.
Skidmore?
No, says Skidmore. Skidmore says that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a quote. I'm sorry, I spoke a little weird. There are even signs warning visitors the park is under video surveillance and to not collect anything. Some visitors may think taking one little piece won't do any harm. Skidmore says that's not the case. Eventually, there are no pieces left for anybody to see.
Aw.
That may be why some visitors who took rocks sent them back with letters saying sorry. I would say there's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 to 100 letters, Skidmore says. She says many of the letters say people felt guilty for taking the stones. Guilt can be a powerful motivator, so can fear of the curse. It's amazing how many of them actually know about this curse. The legend goes that if you take a piece of petrified wood from the area, you get cursed. I think it's pretty widely known in Escalante that there's an associated curse. Many visitors don't know about it until they read about the curse at the visitor center, and still take a rock, thinking there's no way. However, in most of the letters, they become believers once they got home. The guy says, I'm not superstitious, but I've noticed since I took these stones, the coin has flipped to the bad side a lot more than it's flipped to the good.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then so I see, this is what I'm thinking. I think that it's a bit of a manifestation. Like, people grab the rocks, maybe they read about the curse, like it says at the visitor center, and then it just kind of gets in their head, and subconsciously they bring that bad luck in their life. to the point where they just like,
But what if you truly don't believe in it? Would it still happen?
I don't know, maybe those are the people that don't send letters back that saying
Right?
sorry.
Yeah, if any viewers have had this similar situation, or if you've taken some pieces and experienced the wrath of the petrified forest, let us know in the comments. We would like to know.
That would be interesting to hear, yeah. I wonder if this is meant to keep people from taking the
Yeah,
stones.
right? Yeah.
Like somebody just made it up. They're like, oh, you know what? Let's say it's a curse. Let's say that people send it back saying sorry. Just for the fear that eventually there wouldn't be any stones left. Which makes sense to me.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, what do you think of these urban legends? Which ones do you believe? Do you have any more to add to them? Like, these are, I feel like they were pretty short, but kind of to the point.
Yeah, let us know what urban legends you've heard about Utah. We would love to hear them because we would love to look into them. And we'd love to get creeped out by it too. So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, the scarier the better. I want to get scared. I want to not be able to sleep at night.
You know, the funny thing about being scared is that you want to be scared. But then when you're scared, you're like, I don't want to be scared anymore.
You know, as somebody that watches a lot of scary movies, there's only been a couple of them that have kept me up at night. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, it's hard to let go of what I saw. But I think for the most part, like, I'm okay with it. Like, there's no issue. I can watch a scary movie right before bedtime and I go to bed and it's totally fine. Lately, like the last week, I've had some trouble sleeping. So we got accustomed to turning off the heater at nighttime. So the temperature in the house drops to about 68, sometimes a little bit lower because it's winter time. And we've heard that people sleep better when it's cold. And as of a couple of months ago, we found out that that's true. We sleep better when it's cold. And I have found that when it's really hot, I have a hard time sleeping. Anyway, my point is, there's been a couple of nights where we forget to turn off the heater. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night sweating because it's 72, 73 degrees. And then I have to turn off the heater and I'm like kind of disoriented and stuff like that. But there's been a couple of nights where, for some dumb reason, scenes from scary movies pop into my head. And it's like, surprise, remember this movie? This is a good time to think about this. And so I'll be like laying in bed and I'll look at like my room and it's all dark and then there's like dark spots in the corners and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that could be something. It could be a ghost, a spirit, or just a person standing there. But I know it's not true. But my mind will tell me that, and it sucks because it'll keep me up at night. Like, I'll wake up at like 2 a.m, and then suddenly like it's 2:30 or 3 a.m, and I'm still like, I just want to go to bed, but I can't because my mind is playing tricks in my head, and it's so dumb because I know it's not true. But yeah, how do you sleep at night? Do you turn off your heater or do you just sleep with the heat on?
Oh, we have to sleep with the heat on. It's horrible because our rooms are unequal, and my son's room gets way too cold. So the sensor's in his room, and so it overcompensates, and our room is like blazing hot.
Shoot.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that story is that happens to me even when I'm trying to put my baby to sleep. Like, I'm holding her at like midnight, and then suddenly the scary thing I've been watching, I'm like, I should not be getting scared right now. I don't need to be scared. I need to be holding my baby, not being scared right now.
That's funny. Man. It's just interesting because like there's people that they won't watch scary movies or shows because they get scared so easily, and they have a hard time like not thinking about it that same day. But I feel like people like you and I, we love watching it. We love getting scared until those random moments where your mind just decides, no, let's get scared for real.
You remember this part in the movie? Here you go.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for listening to these stories. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we would love to hear all of your scary stories, paranormal, non-paranormal, anything. Let us know. We would love to talk about it, and yeah.
While you're down there, leave a comment, subscribe for more, hit the notification bell. We're going to hopefully do a lot more of these. Hopefully you can tell us more urban legends or scary stuff that's happened to you, and we can talk about it. Yeah, thanks for joining us for this first episode of ours. We'll catch you later. Stay spooky. I don't know. Do we need some ending tagline? Remember, don't open the door at midnight.
Ooh, I like that.